Lucy Martinez stood at the viewport of the starship Dawn Seeker, staring at the swirling colors of the nebula before her. The blue and purple gases twisted and danced, creating a view that no human had seen up close before this mission. She pressed, her hand against the cold glass, feeling the slight vibration of the ship beneath her fingers. 20 years ago, no one would have believed humans would travel this far into space. The journey to the Carina Nebula had taken 5 years. Even with the new fusion drives, Lucy had been only 24 when they left Earth. Now at 29, she was about to become one of the first humans to make contact with an alien species captain. Amelia Watson appeared beside her at the viewport. Her weathered face showed both excitement and concern. "Are you ready for tomorrow, Lucy?" She asked, her voice soft but firm. Lucy nodded, though her stomach twisted with nerves. As the team's xenolinguist, she would be the first to attempt communication with the aliens. They called themselves the Valhari. According to the transmissions the Dawn Seeker had intercepted 3 months ago. "I think so," Captain Lucy replied. "I have studied their mathematical language patterns, and the computer has created a basic translation. Matrix good," Amelia said. "The shuttle leaves at 0600. Get some rest, but sleep did not come easily that night." Lucy tossed and turned in her small bunk, replaying everything she knew about the Valhari. They had sent out signals, specifically, designed to attract attention. Their technology seemed to be far beyond human capabilities, but they had made no aggressive moves toward the Dawn Seeker since its arrival in their system. Morning arrived too quickly. Lucy dressed in her formal uniform, smoothing down the dark blue fabric with trembling hands. She joined the away team in the shuttle bay. Dr. Helen Frost, the ship's physician and biologist, nodded to her as she entered. Susan Clark, the security chief, checked her sidearm. One last time while engineer Olivia Martinez, no relation to Lucy, ran final checks on their shuttle captain. Watson would remain on the Dawn Seeker, coordinating from above. "This is a diplomatic mission," she reminded them as they prepared to board the shuttle. "Our goal is peaceful contact. Any sign of hostility and you return immediately." The shuttle journey to the alien space station took nearly an hour. Lucy spent it reviewing her notes. The Valhari station hung in space like a giant silver snowflake, with 6 symmetrical arms extending from a central hub. "Beautiful," Lucy whispered as they approached. Susan grunted, keeping her focus on the controls as she guided the shuttle toward the docking port, indicated in the Valhari transmissions. The docking sequence went smoothly, almost too smoothly, as if the alien technology was compensating for their less advanced approach. There was a soft hiss as the airlock sealed and atmosphere equalized. The readings showed breathable air, though slightly higher in oxygen than Earth normal. Helen confirmed it was safe after checking her instruments, and the team prepared to exit the shuttle. Lucy went first as planned. Her heart pounded so loudly she was sure the others could hear it. The airlock door slid open, revealing a long, curved corridor made of some pearlescent material that seemed to glow from within. The light was soft and diffuse, coming from everywhere and nowhere. The team stepped forward cautiously, moving down the corridor. Their footsteps made no sound on the strange floor material. At the end of the corridor, the passage opened into a large circular chamber. The ceiling arched high above them, adorned with what looked like a map of the galaxy. And there, waiting in the center of the room, stood 3 figures. Lucy froze her breath, catching in her throat. The Valhari were tall, nearly 7 feet, with slender bodies that seemed almost fragile. Their skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting between blue and green depending on how the light hit them. They had no hair, but their heads were adorned with what looked like delicate crystal growths that caught and reflected the light, but most striking were their eyes. Large, almond-shaped, and entirely black, they dominated the aliens' faces. There were no visible noses, just small slits where a human nose would be. Their mouths were small and lipless. The tallest Valhari stepped forward. Its movements were fluid, almost like it was floating rather than walking. It raised 2 of its 4 arms in what Lucy hoped was a peaceful gesture. Lucy stepped forward, mirroring the gesture. She activated the translation device on her wrist and spoke the greeting she had practiced. "We come in peace, As representatives of Earth, we seek friendship and knowledge. The device processed her words, converting them into the mathematical patterns they had decoded from the Valhari transmissions. There was a moment of silence. Then, to everyone's surprise, the alien responded in perfect English. "Welcome, you children of Earth. We have waited long for your arrival." Lucy gasped. "How do you speak our language?" The alien tilted its head in what might have been amusement. "We have been studying your transmissions for many of your years. We find your species fascinating." The other members of the away team shifted nervously behind Lucy. She could feel their unease at how prepared the alien seemed for their arrival. "My name is Ilariel," the alien continued. "I am what you might call a diplomat for my people. The Valhari have existed for thousands of your years. We have watched many species develop and reach for the stars. Why did you call us here?" Lucy asked. Finding her voice again, Ilariel gestured with one of her lower arms, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room showing images of Earth. "Your planet is in danger," Ilariel said simply. "Not from us, but from others who would see your potential as a threat. There are forces in this galaxy that eliminate emerging species before they can become competitors. We have protected you as best we could, but now you must protect yourselves." Lucy felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean? We have much to discuss." Ilariel replied. "Many things to show you, but first we wish to understand you better. Come, we have prepared a place for you." Captain Watson listened intently as Lucy described her experience with the mental connection. The away team had returned to the Dawn Seeker, bringing with them data crystals provided by the Valhari. They sat in the ship's conference room with the senior officers gathered around the table. "You believe these Draknari are a genuine threat?" the captain asked, her expression grave. Lucy nodded. "The images I saw felt real, Captain. The Valhari showed me historical records of other civilizations that were destroyed. I don't think they were fabricated." Susan leaned forward, her face skeptical. "Even if the threat is real, how do we know their proposed solution is in our best interest? They admit they've been manipulating Lucy, possibly all of us, for years." Dr. Helen Frost, who had been analyzing Lucy's medical scans since their return, looked up from her tablet. There were unusual patterns in Lucy's brain activity during and after the connection, but no signs of damage or control. No foreign substances, or implants either. Olivia, the engineer, had been examining one of the data crystals. "It's technology beyond anything we've developed," she admitted. "The storage capacity alone is revolutionary. If the Valhari wanted to harm us, they could have done it more directly than this elaborate deception." The captain considered all perspectives. "I need to contact Earth Command," she said finally. "This is beyond our mission parameters. The data you gathered will be transmitted immediately. Lucy, I want you to prepare a full report including everything you experienced during the connection." As the meeting dispersed, Lucy remained seated, staring at her reflection in the polished table surface. The knowledge the Valhari had shared felt like a weight pressing down on her. How could she possibly convey everything she had learned in a report? Mira, the ship's AI specialist, sat down beside her. "You seem troubled," she said. Lucy looked up. "Wouldn't you be? All my life choices that I thought were my own may have been subtly influenced by alien observers." Mira considered this. "But the choices were still yours ultimately. The opportunities may have been arranged, but you chose to pursue linguistics. You chose to apply for this mission." Maybe, Lucy conceded. "But now I have to somehow explain concepts I barely understand myself. The galactic conquered interspecies politics, the Draknari threat. How do I make Earth's leaders understand what's at stake?" "Perhaps you don't have to do it alone," Mira suggested. "If the Valhari technology allows for direct mental connection, could they not share information with Earth's leaders directly?" Lucy hadn't considered that. It was worth proposing to the captain. The ability to share information directly would bypass so many misunderstandings. But would Earth's leaders agree to such an intimate connection with alien minds? Would they trust the Valhari enough to try? Later that night, Lucy couldn't sleep. She kept seeing flashes of the mental landscape, the infinite library, the beautiful Valhari, homeworld, the terrifying images of Draknari ships destroying worlds. She got up and went to the observation deck. The alien space station hung in space before her, its crystalline arms glittering in the light of the nearby star. The structure was beautiful, almost artistic in its design, so different from the utilitarian human vessels. "You should be resting," a voice said behind her. Lucy turned to find Captain Watson approaching. "When I close my eyes, I see their worlds," she admitted. "Their memories." The captain stood beside her, looking out at the station. "I've sent your initial report to Earth, along with the preliminary analysis of the data crystals," she said. "We should receive a response within 12 hours. "What do you think they'll say?" Lucy asked Watson. "Side politicians will be politicians. Some will see opportunity, others danger. Some will want to establish trade, others will advocate caution. What matters is that we provide them with the clearest information possible." Lucy nodded. Earth needed to understand what she had experienced, that the galaxy was not empty or safe, that humanity needed allies. The next day passed slowly as they awaited Earth's response. Lucy spent most of it helping the science team analyze the information on the data crystals. The technology was remarkable but designed to be compatible with human systems, suggesting the Valhari had planned this exchange carefully. The response from Earth finally arrived, marked urgent. Captain Watson assembled the senior staff. In the conference room, her expression unreadable as she prepared to share the message. "Earth Command has reviewed our reports," she began. "They are proceeding with caution, but acknowledge the potential threat they're sending a diplomatic team to take over negotiations, but that will take months. They want us to continue gathering information in the meantime. They specifically want more data on these Draknari." Lucy felt relief wash over her. Earth was taking the threat seriously. The captain continued. "Several intelligence agencies have confirmed unusual deep space signals consistent with the Valhari's claims. They've been detecting them for years but couldn't identify their source." Chief of Security Susan spoke up. "So what are our orders?" "Maintain contact with the Valhari," Watson replied. "Gather all information they're willing to share, particularly about defensive technologies." And Earth Command specifically requested that Lucy attempt another mental connection, if the Valhari are agreeable. Lucy felt all eyes turn to her. She had expected this. She was the only human who had experienced the connection who could vouch for its safety and value. "I'm willing," she said. "Good," Watson nodded. "Well, return to the station tomorrow." That night, Lucy dreamed of stars, vast nebulae, and planets teeming with life forms she could barely comprehend. She saw the Draknari ships, dark and threatening, moving through space with purpose. She saw Earth vulnerable and blue against the blackness. All these images swirled together until she woke disoriented and sweating. The away team prepared to return to the Valhari station. The same group would go: Lucy, Helen, Susan, and Olivia, with the addition of Mira, the AI specialist, who might better understand the technical information the Valhari were offering. As their shuttle approached the docking port, Lucy felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if she were returning to a place she knew well. The alien station no longer seemed quite so foreign. Ilariel greeted them, in the same chamber as before, her skin shifting through patterns of blue and green that Lucy now recognized as expressions of emotion. "You have returned," she said. "We are pleased, Captain." "Watson has sent us to continue our discussions," Lucy explained. "My government is sending diplomatic representatives, but they won't arrive for some time." Ilariel made a gesture that Lucy interpreted as satisfaction. "We anticipated this. Human decision-making often requires consultation among many." Mira stepped forward. "I am interested in learning more about your technology, particularly your computing systems." One of Ilariel's companions moved forward to engage with Mira, speaking in technical terms that Lucy couldn't follow. Olivia joined their conversation, asking questions about energy systems. Lucy turned back to Ilariel. "Earth has authorized me to attempt another connection. If you are willing. I have many questions about the Draknari and this galactic concord, of course." Ilariel agreed. "But this time, perhaps, we can share more fully. Maris has prepared a deeper connection protocol. one that will allow more complete understanding. Susan immediately stepped forward. We agreed to the same type of connection as before, not something new and untested. Ilariel's skin darkened slightly. The previous connection was limited by caution on both sides. It allowed only surface sharing of information. The threat you face requires deeper understanding. Lucy considered the implications. What exactly would this deeper connection involve? You would connect not just with Maris, but with our collective knowledge, Ilariel explained. Many Valhari contributing their experiences and understanding. A more complete picture of the galaxy and its politics. And the risks, Lucy asked. Greater mental fatigue, Ilariel admitted, possibly temporary confusion as your mind processes so much new information, but no permanent effects. We have refined the process for human neurology. One of the Valhari approached Lucy carrying the star-shaped crystal device. The alien moved with a fluid grace that made Lucy think of dancers back on Earth. Despite her determination, Lucy felt her heart racing as the creature came closer. Ilariel explained the process. This is Maris, our most skilled connector. She will guide you through the experience. The connection will feel strange at first, but not painful. Please. Sit. Lucy lowered herself onto one of the strange organic seats. Susan stood nearby, her hand still hovering near her weapon. Helen had her medical scanner ready, monitoring Lucy's vital signs. Olivia watched with intense curiosity. Maris knelt before Lucy. Her skin had a more silvery tone than Ilariel's. The crystal in her hands pulsed with soft blue light. Place your hands on either side, she instructed, her voice melodic and calming. Lucy took a deep breath and placed her hands on the crystal. It felt warm and seemed to vibrate slightly against her skin. Relax your mind, Maris said. Close your eyes if it helps. Focus on your breathing. Lucy closed her eyes, trying to calm her racing thoughts. She felt a strange tingling sensation beginning in her fingertips and spreading up her arms. Then suddenly she was somewhere else. Lucy found herself standing in what appeared to be a vast library stretching endlessly in all directions. The shelves contained not books, but glowing orbs of light. Is this real? She asked, her voice echoing strangely. Not real, but not false either, came a voice beside her. Maris stood there looking somehow both alien and familiar. This is a mental construction, a shared space where our minds can interact more easily. Lucy looked down at herself. She appeared normal, wearing her uniform, but her skin had a faint luminescence. What happens now? Maris gestured and several orbs floated from the shelves, hovering between them. First, we share knowledge about the Draknari, so you understand the threat. One of the orbs expanded, showing images that played like a movie. Lucy watched scenes of massive ships with sharp angular designs approaching a beautiful blue planet, not unlike Earth. The ships surrounded the planet, energy weapons reducing cities to ash. These are historical records. Maris explained the Zorathi civilization destroyed 80 years ago. They had just achieved faster-than-light travel when the Draknari found them. They were given no warning, no chance to surrender. Lucy felt sick as she watched the destruction. Is this what will happen to Earth? Not if we succeed, Maris said. Another orb expanded, showing the Valhari homeworld. A beautiful planet with silver cities nestled among crystal forests. We have hidden our presence from the Draknari for millennia. Our technology allows us to mask our emissions and shield planets we wish to protect. But Earth has become too noticeable. Your transmissions reach too far. Why not just give us the technology to hide ourselves? Lucy asked. Maris gestured and another orb expanded. The Draknari are suspicious by nature. If Earth suddenly disappeared from their sensors, they would become more determined to find you. We must instead make you appear to be under the protection of a recognized power, one the Draknari will not challenge directly. The images shifted, showing what looked like diplomatic meetings between various alien species. There is an alliance of species called the Galactic Concord. Maris continued. They maintain a fragile peace in this sector of the galaxy. The Draknari respect their boundaries mostly, but membership requires a certain level of technological advancement, which Earth has not yet achieved. So we need to advance quickly, Lucy said, beginning to understand. And you're offering to help us do that? Yes, and no, Maris replied. We can provide knowledge, but implementation must be yours. The Concord forbids direct technological uplift of developing species. It creates instability, but there is a provision for knowledge exchange through limited partnerships. Lucy felt overwhelmed by the implications. Earth wasn't just making first contact with one alien species, but was being drawn into a complex interstellar political situation. How many species are out there? More than you can imagine, Maris said. But now, I must show you something more personal. The library faded away, replaced by a lush garden with plants unlike anything on Earth. The colors were more vivid than seemed possible. Small creatures like luminous butterflies flitted between exotic flowers. This is a memory of my home, Maris said. My planet orbits a binary star system. Our days are long, our years longer than yours. Lucy reached out, touching one of the strange flowers. It felt real under her fingers. Why show me this? To help you understand us, Maris replied. The Valhari evolved in an environment of abundance. We never knew scarcity or predation. Our development was focused on communication and cooperation rather than competition. This shaped our biology and our psychology. We do not understand conflict as humans do. Lucy watched as the scene shifted, showing Valhari in what appeared to be a city. Their buildings were integrated with nature, growing rather than being constructed. The Draknari evolved differently. Maris continued. Their world was harsh, resources scarce. They survived through aggression and dominance. These traits served them well, but led them to see all other life as either useful or threatening. Another shift. And Lucy saw imposing figures with reptilian features and armored skin. Their eyes were slitted vertical like a cat's, but glowed with an inner red light. The Valhari and Draknari represent opposite approaches to survival. Maris explained. Neither is inherently wrong, but the Draknari philosophy threatens all who differ from them. They believe diversity weakens the galaxy. They seek to eliminate what they do not understand. And humans? Lucy asked. Where do we fit? You are unique, Maris said. You evolved with both competition and cooperation. You understand conflict, but also empathy. You create art and wage war. You destroy and nurture. This duality makes you unpredictable to both Valhari and Draknari. It is why we find you fascinating and they find you threatening. Lucy began to grasp the bigger picture. The Valhari saw humans as potential allies because of traits they themselves lacked. Humans could understand the Draknari in ways the Valhari could not. Another shift, and Lucy saw images of herself as a child, learning languages in school as a teenager, writing poetry in her journal as an adult, working on communication algorithms. They had been watching her entire life. You were identified early, Maris confirmed. Your aptitude for language and pattern recognition matched what we sought. We influenced your path, subtly ensuring opportunities that would develop your talents. Lucy felt a flash of anger. You manipulated my life. Guided, not manipulated, Maris corrected. We never forced choices, merely presented options. Your decisions were always your own. Before Lucy could respond, the mental landscape began to fade. The connection is ending, Maris said. We cannot maintain it longer without risk. Remember what you have seen. Lucy gasped as she returned to her body. Her hands were still on the crystal device, which had dimmed to a dull blue. She felt disoriented, sweat beading on her forehead. Her teammates surrounded her, looking concerned. Are you all right? Helen asked. Scanning her, what happened? Lucy struggled to organize her thoughts. There was so much information. So many implications. Earth was in danger, but also on the verge of joining a larger community of worlds. They've been watching us, she said finally. Not just our species, but me personally. They've been guiding my life. Lucy looked to Helen for guidance. The doctor frowned, checking readings on her medical scanner. I can't predict how a deeper connection might affect your brain chemistry, she said. But your readings after the first connection showed no damage, just unusual activity patterns. I need to speak with my team privately, Lucy told Ilariel. The Valhari diplomat gestured, understanding. Of course. Take whatever time you need. We will prepare. The human team moved to a corner of the chamber, speaking in hushed tones. I don't like it, Susan said immediately. It's too convenient. They keep escalating their requests. First a simple connection, now a deeper one. What's next? Olivia looked thoughtful. The technology they've shared so far has been revolutionary, but benign. Engineering concepts that will advance our capabilities without providing weapons. Everything they've done supports their story. Mira nodded. The computing principles I've glimpsed suggest their claims about hiding planets from detection are plausible. They could have the capability they claim. Helen remained concerned about Lucy's well-being. The first connection didn't harm you, but a deeper integration with alien minds. It's unprecedented. Lucy considered all their points. The first connection had been overwhelming but also illuminating. She had sensed no deception from Maris, only a genuine desire to communicate. But a deeper connection with multiple Valhari minds, that was another level of risk. Our mission is to gather information. Lucy said, finally, Earth needs to understand what we're facing. This may be the fastest way to get comprehensive intelligence. Susan shook her head. You're too personally involved, Lucy. They've been watching you your whole life by their own admission. How can you be objective? Lucy felt a flash of anger. I'm aware of the potential bias, she replied. But I'm also the only one here who has experienced their connection. Who else would you suggest? After further debate, they reached a compromise Lucy would attempt. The deeper connection, but with strict time limits and constant monitoring by Helen. If anything seemed wrong, they would terminate immediately. Lucy approached Ilariel. I will attempt the deeper connection, she said, but with conditions limited duration, constant medical monitoring. And my team stays present. Ilariel agreed immediately. We anticipated such precautions. They are wise. The connection chamber is prepared when you are ready. The Valhari led them to a different room, smaller than the others, with a circular platform in the center. Crystalline structures grew from the ceiling, reaching down toward the platform like stalactites. Their surfaces pulsed with soft light. Maris was waiting along with two other Valhari. They wore simple white garments that contrasted with their shimmering skin. The connection requires multiple guides for stability, Maris explained. We will help you navigate the shared consciousness. Lucy sat on the platform as directed. Helen attached monitoring devices to her temples and wrists. Susan positioned herself near the door, her expression watchful. Olivia and Mira observed with scientific curiosity. The three Valhari arranged themselves around Lucy, forming a triangle. Maris placed a larger, more complex, crystal device in Lucy's hands. The crystal had an organic quality, almost like it was alive. This time you must reach for the connection. Maris instructed. Close your eyes. Imagine your mind as a door opening. Lucy closed her eyes, taking deep breaths. She visualized a door in her mind slowly swinging open. At first nothing happened, then she felt it, a gentle pressure against her consciousness, like waves lapping at a shore. She leaned into the sensation, mentally opening herself to it. The pressure increased. The waves became a current pulling her forward. Lucy gasped as her mind expanded. She was no longer in her body, no longer in the room. She was everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Her consciousness stretched like a rubber band snapping into a new shape. Unlike the first connection, there was no constructed mental landscape, no library or garden. Instead, Lucy experienced pure information flooding into her awareness. Concepts, languages, histories, technical knowledge, emotional contexts, all pouring into her mind at once. She saw the Valhari civilization, its rise over millions of years, its peaceful exploration of space, its first encounters with other species. She experienced their philosophy of observation and preservation, their dedication to knowledge and harmony. Then she saw the Draknari, their harsh world with 3 suns that scorched the surface, forcing life to evolve in deep underground caverns, their struggle for resources that shaped their territorial nature, their eventual emergence to the surface, their development of space travel, and their first genocidal campaigns against other life forms. Lucy experienced the formation of the Galactic Concord, dozens of species coming together after a devastating period of interstellar conflict establishing laws and boundaries. She felt the delicate political balance, the tensions between expansion and conservation, between intervention and observation. Most significantly, she understood Earth's position. Humanity was developing faster than most species, advancing technologically at a pace that alarmed many in the galaxy. Earth had been noticed, not just by the Valhari and Draknari, but by many civilizations. Some saw potential, others saw threat. The Valhari had chosen to guide humanity subtly. They had identified individuals with specific talents, Lucy among them, and created circumstances that would develop those talents. Their goal was to prepare Earth for eventual contact, to help humanity avoid the severe mistakes other young species had made. Lucy saw herself through alien eyes. Her unique ability to recognize patterns, to adapt to new ways of thinking. Her openness to possibilities. They had seen these qualities in her even as a child. The knowledge was overwhelming, but the Valhari consciousnesses surrounding her kept her from being lost in it. They guided her through the torrent, showing her what she needed to understand. Then Lucy saw something unexpected. In the shared consciousness, she glimpsed a secret. The Valhari were dying as a species, their population declining, their birth rates falling. They had reached an evolutionary dead end. Their perfect harmony had led to stagnation. They needed humanity, not just as allies against the Draknari, but for revitalization. Deeper still, Lucy discovered the true plan. The Valhari hoped for eventual biological integration with humans, a merging of species combining human creativity and adaptability with Valhari knowledge and longevity. They believed such a union could create something greater than either species alone. With this realization, Lucy felt herself being gently pulled back, the connection weakening. The Valhari had not intended to reveal this final truth, but in the deeper connection, they couldn't hide it completely. Lucy opened her eyes, gasping for breath. Her body felt heavy after the weightlessness of the shared consciousness. Her teammates surrounded her, looking concerned. Helen checking her vital signs. "What happened?" Susan demanded. "You were connected for 20 minutes. It felt like days," Lucy whispered, her voice hoarse. Her head pounded with the pressure of so much new information. "I saw everything. The Valhari, the Draknari, the Concord, everything ilarial," approached her skin, cycling through colors rapidly. "You experienced more than we intended," the alien said. The depth of the connection exceeded parameters. Lucy looked up at the Valhari diplomat, seeing her with new understanding. "They need us," she said. "Not just as allies. Their species is dying. They want to merge with us eventually." Susan immediately raised her weapon, pointing it at Ilariel. "Is this true?" she demanded. Ilariel's colors stabilized, settling into a deep blue pattern of acceptance. "It is truth, but not complete. Truth," she acknowledged. "We are declining as a species. We have existed for millions of years, but our time is reaching its end. We see in humanity a spark we have lost." The other Valhari moved closer to Ilariel, forming a protective circle. The merging would not be forced, Ilariel continued. It would take generations, voluntary genetic exchange creating children of both worlds. But that is a distant possibility, not our immediate concern. The Draknari threat is real and imminent. That must be addressed. First, Lucy struggled to her feet, feeling weak but determined. "Now I understand why Earth is so important to you, why you've been watching us." Her mind was still processing everything she had learned. The Valhari were manipulative. Yes, but not malevolent. They genuinely believed in cooperation, not conquest. "What happens now?" Olivia asked, looking between Lucy and the aliens. Lucy took a deep breath. "We bring this information back to Earth. All of it. The threat, the opportunity, the risks, the truth about what awaits humanity among the stars." She looked at Ilariel. "No more secrets," she said. "If we are to be allies, there must be transparency." Ilariel bowed her head in agreement. "We will share all we know openly from this point forward," as they prepared to Return to the Dawn Seeker. Lucy felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She carried knowledge that would change human history forever. Earth was not alone in the universe, and its future was tied to the complex politics of a galactic community it had not known existed, but she also carried hope. Humanity had something special, something the ancient Valhari recognized and valued. The same creativity and adaptability that made humans dangerous also made them essential in the greater scheme of things. Lucy Martinez, ordinary human linguist, now stood at the crossroads of two civilizations. The choices Earth would make in the coming years would determine not just human destiny, but the future balance of power among the stars. The universe had just become much larger and much more complicated, but humanity would face it together. The dawn of a new era had begun. The room the Valhari led them to resembled something between a conference room and a garden. Strange plants with crystalline leaves grew from the walls and floor. Their colors shifted from deep purple to bright blue as the humans walked past them. Lucy noticed that the temperature was perfect, not too warm or cool, and the air smelled faintly sweet. Ilariel gestured to what appeared to be seats formed from the same pearlescent material as the corridors. "Please rest and refresh yourselves." She waved one of her upper arms, and a section of the wall slid open, revealing containers of what looked like food and drink. Helen immediately took out her scanner to check the offerings. While the doctor worked, Lucy tried to process everything that was happening. The Valhari were far more advanced than humans, yet they claimed to have been protecting Earth. That seemed hard to believe. "Your sustenance is safe for your biology," Ilariel said, noticing Helen's scanning. "We have studied your nutritional needs carefully." "That's both reassuring and a little concerning," Helen replied, looking up from her scanner. "How long have you been watching us exactly?" Ilariel made a musical sound that might have been laughter. "Since your species first began using radio waves. Certain among us have specialized in studying Earth culture. We find humans particularly interesting." Why, Susan asked, her hand still resting near her weapon. "Most advanced species would view us as primitive." "You are young, not primitive," Ilariel corrected. "There is a difference. Your species has achieved in a few thousand years what took others millions. Your adaptability is remarkable." Olivia, the engineer who had been quietly examining the room, spoke up. "Why have you brought us here? Now what's this danger?" "You mentioned." Ilariel's skin shifted to a deeper blue. The holographic display in the center of the room changed, showing a star map. "The galaxy is vast, but not empty. There are many civilizations, some benevolent, some neutral, and some." Ilariel paused, "some who believe that only the strongest should survive." The hologram zoomed in on a section of space displaying what looked like ships with sharp angular designs, unlike the flowing organic shapes of the Valhari station. "The Draknari," Ilariel said. "They are a warlike species who consider it their duty to eliminate potential competitors before they become threats. They have detected your deep space transmissions and have marked Earth for investigation." Lucy felt her blood run cold. "How long do we have?" "Perhaps 20 of your years," Ilariel replied. "Not long enough for your current technology to advance to a level that could resist them, but we can help you." Susan narrowed her eyes. "Why would you help us? What do you gain?" Ilariel's head tilted again. "We are few. The Valhari reproduce rarely. Our civilization is ancient but declining. We lack something that humans possess in abundance." "And what is that?" Lucy asked. "Creativity." Ilariel replied simply. "Your species creates art, music, literature. You imagine possibilities in ways we cannot. Our logic is superior, our technology more advanced, but we cannot innovate as you do. We have reached the limits of our development. That does not explain why you would help defend us from these." Draknari. Susan pressed Ilariel's forehands, made a complex gesture. "The Draknari threaten all life that does not conform to their ideals. They have destroyed 17 emerging civilizations in the last millennium alone. We oppose them, but we are not warriors. We use stealth and misdirection to protect those we can. But now we need allies who think differently than we do. Lucy looked at her teammates, seeing the same mix of fear and skepticism on their faces that she felt. But there was also excitement. The Valhari were offering humanity a chance to leap forward technologically to prepare for a threat they couldn't have known existed until today. If what you say is true, Lucy said, we need to contact our ship. Our leaders on Earth will need to be informed. Of course, Ilariel agreed. But first, there is something we must share with you. The true reason we selected your team specifically. Lucy frowned. What do you mean? Selected our team. The holographic display changed again, showing images of Lucy and her teammates at various points in their lives. Lucy as a graduate student presenting her thesis on comparative linguistics, Helen treating patients in a refugee camp, Susan during military training, Olivia working on fusion reactor designs. Have been watching you specifically, Ilariel explained. Each of you possesses qualities we value. Lucy, your gift for patterns and communication. Helen, your compassion and understanding of life. Susan, your protective instincts and strategic thinking. Olivia, your ability to envision and create new technologies. Lucy felt a chill run down her spine. You've been monitoring us personally. Not monitoring. Identifying, Ilariel corrected. There is something about each of you that makes you compatible. Compatible with what Helen asked, her scientific curiosity overcoming her alarm. Ilariel gestured and a door opened on the far side of the room. 3 more Valhari entered, each carrying what looked like small crystal devices shaped like starfish. To truly understand each other, Ilariel explained, we must share more than words. We propose a temporary mental connection. It will allow us to share knowledge directly, bypassing the limitations of language. Susan immediately stepped forward, placing herself between the new Valhari and her teammates. Absolutely not, she said firmly. That wasn't part of our mission parameters. Ilariel raised her hands in a placating gesture. The connection is temporary and consensual. We cannot and would not force it upon you. But it would allow us to share crucial information quickly, information that could help you understand the threat and prepare your people. Lucy studied the crystal devices carefully. They don't look like any technology I've ever seen. They are bioengineered, not manufactured, Ilariel explained. They facilitate neural connection without harm. They have been specifically adapted to human physiology. And if we refuse, Susan asked, then we will proceed with traditional communication, Ilariel said. But it will take much longer and much nuance will be lost. The away team huddled together, speaking in low voices. I don't trust this, Susan said. It's too convenient. They've been watching us, monitoring us for who knows how long. But what if they're telling the truth about these Dreknari? Helen countered. The information they could share could be vital. It could also be a trap. Susan replied. They could be trying to control our minds or extract information. Lucy considered both perspectives. The Valhari could have harmed them already if that was their intention. The aliens had superior technology and had clearly been prepared for their arrival. If they wanted to force this connection, they likely could have. I think I'm willing to try it, Lucy said finally. But, just me first. If anything goes wrong, you can return to the ship and warn the captain. Susan shook her head. That's too risky. It's my decision. Lucy insisted in the communication specialist. This is why I'm here. After further debate, Lucy approached Ilariel. While the others maintained a safe distance, I volunteer, she said. For the connection. But only me for now. Ilariel's skin rippled with patterns of light. I honor your courage, Lucy Martinez.